Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today. Because I have a question for you. And that's, do you feel better? Do you feel better? Banks gave us their stress test. Do you feel better about that? Before I get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. And later today, we will be filming all the results for Christmas in May. So stay tuned because it's coming. And let's get into it. The banks, since 2008, the debacle that happened in 2008, and the banking crisis back then, the housing crisis, they started to issue banking stress tests where they test banks to see if they are economically viable as far as what their potential losses could be, how much they have as far as deposits. It's amazing. And if you want to read this 58-page document, go ahead. It will put you to sleep. And I think it's designed to deceive us and tell us, oh, this is not as bad as it looks. It might as well be a comic book as far as I'm concerned, because there's really nothing factual about this other than just hyperbole and, ridiculous conjecture and ridiculous scenarios that will never happen, and don't worry about it, but we may lose a little money, okay? They did a test with 23 banks, okay? Well, that's great. Now, at the end of today, Wells Fargo and JP Morgan are going to talk about their potential losses, because they didn't want to do that publicly. They wanted to do it after the market closed, before basically a holiday weekend. A lot of people are taking off on this weekend for 4th of July, so it's perfect timing to sit there and give you some bad news, okay? So we'll see. Now, the potential losses for these banks are about $560 billion, and those come from bad loans and things like that could potentially take place in this game scenario that they set up with these banks. So, but hey, don't worry, the banks are solid. And, one thing to be happy about is if you guys are at Charles Schwab, they say that their losses on loan losses would only be about 1.4% in a bad scenario. The bad one was Capital One, which I think of Capital One as a credit card company, not a bank, but they changed to a bank after 2008. So their scenario is much worse, that they could have basically 24% of their loans go south. The other one that was really, really bad in this scenario is Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs said that their losses could be massive and could be at between 23 and 25%. Wow. Okay. So they looked at regional banks like PNC and Truist Bank and said, these regional players could have a scenario problem where, loans go south and businesses are in trouble and they don't get paid back. But their biggest potential losses is small business, which goes to another story, and that is that when the Fed steps forward this week and kind of gave us their scenario, what was going on, small business is in real trouble right now, they're saying. And they're saying that basically you could see about 30% of the businesses right now effectively go out of business right now. And with that happening, it would create, utter chaos. People not getting paid, employees not getting paid, things like that. But it's all good. The scenario is good. They all beat the stress test. So crazy, guys. No one believes this, that this is just normal, and banking is solid. So they want us just to go about our day, borrow money and get credit cards and go, about putting your money in the bank, but not be concerned with the money that's out there right now. So, I think this is just the beginning of the banking situation, the banking problem. So think about this, guys. With this month ending, the year is half over. And, one thing I talk to my friends about, I talk to family members, clients, everybody, is all your goals and all your financial plans right now, knowing that this year is half over. 2023 is done, guys, half done, okay? What have you done to fix this? What have you done to make yourself better financially And it's not getting rich. It's not that scenario. It's just putting things in order right now. You know, found a great article below that is talking about how people need to look at, you know, the number to get rich. And the greatest thing about this is that it's not like a number. It's not like, hey, you need to hit $5 million, $1 million, $15 million. It's not that. It's how much money you make each month, what your bills are at, what's left over, and if you have any breathing room, which is what we've talked about, you know, for the last 2.5 years on this channel. So people need to get the scenario, you know, ready that they need to cut costs. And again, read the article below because it's going to do a much better job as far as budgeting and getting yourself ready. Because what nobody wants to look at is nobody wants to put pen to paper and say, these are all my expenses, these are all my bills, and this is how much money I make. And once again, if you have a side gig, if you sell stuff on the side, if you do anything that brings in extra income, you've got to count that towards your income and plan on paying taxes on that. The days of hiding that are finished, guys. They're absolutely done right now. You're not going to have that luxury anymore. With this new inform law, you're going to see more and more people that think about this. The banks can lie to us and tell us that they're fine financially, which we know that they're not. We know that they're in real trouble, and you know, games get played like Wells Fargo and JP Morgan that they're going to tell us later. They're doing this so that we're put in the scenario that we think that they're okay, but we know that they're not. So, but you have to pay taxes, you know, on selling stuff out of your garage. So get ready for that. If you think that this is just going to skate by and be okay, you're kidding yourself. Have multiple bank accounts, have multiple ways of getting money, store some cash. And the great scenario that was talked about with this budgeting plan with people was people just don't look at things like this. Look at this milestone. If half the year is half done, go about your budget. Check it out. Go through it right now. And I took this. I sat down and said, you know what? This is a perfect time to do this and make sure everything's in order so that it's not, you know, so that I'm heading in the right direction month after month, week after week. A lot of people out here today.
We've got 2 on here.
So, just really nice. But prepare, guys. Prepare for everything. But don't worry, the banks pass the stress test and you don't need to worry about this. But the Fed says, hey, you know, you could see 30% of the businesses go down for the count. And the biggest problem is liquidity. Will they be able to get money? Why wouldn't they be able to get money if the banks are safe? Why, will the banks stop lending? Yes, they will. That's going to happen. This happened last time, guys, that the banks stopped lending people money. And yeah, you had the liar loans and things like that, but you're going to see a situation happen again where they're not going to lend money on a regular basis and the credit's going to dry up. So the average credit card that's right now coming out at 24%, guys. That is killer diller, man. That is too high. So, oh damn, I've got gold credit. I don't pay yearly fees. I don't pay monthly fees. I don't pay things like that because you're so great. Okay, good for you. They're charging more for all of us, guys. Get ready for this. Look at this back here. Isn't that nice? So, just a matter of time, guys. But the banking situation, I don't believe this at all. Do you believe that they're safe? You know, look at the credit unions. And again, these banks that did the stress test weren't the credit unions on that list. The thing about a credit union, and I had a subscriber, I wish I knew his first name again. He had written me and told me about all the questions he asked about the financial solvency of the credit union, bad loans, you know, how much they have in deposits, everything. The president of the credit union wrote back and answered every single one of his questions. And we need more of that right now. So share your thoughts on this stuff so far. Let me know what you think. Plus today, this morning, I was with my friend Doug, who's the foreclosure expert, and he was going to bid on a house. And kind of a wild scenario where, you know, he had money from a bank, cashier's checks, hundreds of thousands of dollars in his possession. He was going to go bid on a property. And we went to the auction live, and his auction got postponed literally at the last minute, which it's fascinating. But you know, I filmed a little bit of the auction for you to show you that, so take a look at this. One thing that I like to do is go to the foreclosure auctions, and my friend Doug today was scheduled to bid on an auction, and I'm at auction.com today, and this is wild because they're going fast and heavy, and you guys can take a look at this real quick. Got an Agura Hills property. Opening bid was $430,000. The property is $697 in value. They're at $530,000 right now. So let's see. Let's see this just for another minute. 537. Don't forget to take a look at Real Estate Foreclosure Pro. That's the real estate course that the Economic Ninja and I have put together with my foreclosure expert, Doug. The link is below. There is a pre-filming discount. And as the videos get completed, you guys can save a lot. But go to Real Estate Foreclosure Pro below and check it out. Here's a few things that are fascinating. And Aleph Aeronautics is a startup company that says that they've just gotten the first preliminary approval for a flying car. Isn't that amazing? Flying car. Could you imagine the rich guy down the street from you, okay, who doesn't listen to anybody and doesn't listen to the HOA and drives fast and is just a complete, you know, self-centered clown, and that guy gets himself a flying car, okay? And the thing that's floored me about this was, you know, they've had investors put millions of dollars into this. They have a prototype, which there's no video. There's nothing to prove that they've gotten approval. Now, one person that tweeted against this said, wait a second, when you have the FAA, you know, approving certain things, you're allowed to test fly things. You're allowed to post certain things. And again, sure, they want to keep things, you know, they have drawings, they have pictures and things like that. But the thing that absolutely floored me was you can put down, you know, $150 as a deposit and get yourself on the list. You can put down $1,500 and get on the priority list. But 440 people have done that already. The Marines. So this is just stunning down here. This is always beautiful. We've been out here in storms and stuff and seen the stairs filled with water and everything. But a couple of scenarios with the banks. Now let's go back to where the banks are doing great. It is anticipated that deal flow, deals that didn't go through this year, already total $1 trillion. $1 trillion. How do you lose $1 trillion and you guys are okay with that? It doesn't make an ounce of sense. You can read the article, but it doesn't make any sense that all these different deals, the mergers and acquisitions, the new IPOs, people going public are not happening like they used to. And there's a lot of money drying up and the banks are feeling the brunt of this. Okay? But don't worry about it. It's fine. We're going to be fine. So we're going to have a flying car next year. Okay? Do you guys hear stuff like this and just go, whatever? Who's going to buy that? So somebody will, but how do you get that approved? Seriously. You know that if it ever became the Jetsons, if it ever became real, that some idiot could do that. He'd be stuck on the 55 freeway, which is where I live, near this area, and it's always bottlenecked. But you'd have some guy on the side that would pull up and take off and fly near the airport. Okay? So where can you fly this thing? Can you buy one in Washington, D.C.? Can you do it there? Speaking of banking, okay, here's one thing that absolutely floored me. you've heard of unhoused, which are homeless people. Okay, you're unhoused. Okay, I always call it my broke college friends that are unhoused. Okay, so my unhoused friends that would live with me and things like that. Now they're talking about people that are unbanked. You're unbanked. Huh, what's that mean? It means you don't have a bank account. Okay, so here's 3 things that you can do at the post office that they're going to start promoting as of July 1st. And this floored me. I didn't know this. First thing is money orders. You can get cheap money orders at the post office, which has always been a great place to buy them, and reliable, inexpensive place to buy things like that. Okay. Second thing, did you know that you can cash treasury checks there? You get a tax refund, you can go to the post office and cash your check. Who knew? I didn't know that. And the other thing is payroll checks. They have 4 test cities: Washington, D.C., Baltimore, a couple other cities. It's in the article, where if you have a payroll check that's under $500, they'll cash it without a fee right now. Who knew? Who knew that? Okay, well, people that, there is a fee to cash a check. It's $5.95. And they also have a fee, which this sounds like complete shenanigans, where you can get gift cards for your payroll check. So, talking about laundering cash, that's one way to do it. And also, not to tell your spouse, your girlfriend, or anybody else, I didn't get paid, okay, is what you're going to see people do with things like that. But the banks are going to perform a bigger role, the post office is going to perform a bigger role than banks because of people's personal financial problems right here. Tons of people come out here and surf. This is one of those areas that you can't swim, but you can surf in. But if you look down there, and I'll get a better shot of it in a second, it's so rocky. I don't know who would be stupid enough to surf out there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gentlemen are taking that. So let me know. One thing that floors me is how we hear about strikes and contract negotiations always at the last minute. You hear about, the writer's strike. Hey, we're going to strike tomorrow if we don't get this deal worked out. How long have you guys been trying to work this out? Same thing with the actors now. The actors may strike now. And it all comes down to streaming. It all comes down to doing different online things that they're not being paid what they think is adequately fair for. And, it's crazy. When you hear about the show Friends, those guys make $20 million a year from those reruns. Seinfeld makes a fortune. Some of these legacy shows make an absolute ton of money, but people get beat out of that all the time. And was talking to friends with my upcoming high school reunion, and one guy's a filmmaker now, and he was talking about how he gets paid and how he raises money and stuff. It was fascinating, and I'll share more with you in the coming weeks with that, because I'm going to some of his premieres and stuff like that in the next few weeks. But the Teamsters, how many members are Teamster members for UPS, United Parcel Service? 340,000 members, guys. Isn't that crazy? Well, they've been trying to negotiate the contract since April. And they've been locked out from the company in negotiating for, like a month now, month and a half. Wait a second. Why are we just hearing about this now? So at the end of today, they may start a strike, okay, from one of the largest groups. And again, let people know stuff like this in advance. Well, Dan, it's not to get people upset, not to get them thinking that anything they need to worry about this in advance. No, guys, this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I think about how much interaction I've had with UPS workers in the last 6 weeks. I probably had a dozen packages delivered, and let people know that, hey, we're on your side. I mean, these guys, the work that you've heard about, it is blazing. Here in Southern California, yes, we've had overcast days in the month of June, but man, it's hot in those trucks. And they finally admit that they have 90,000 trucks that have to have air conditioning installed on them or else. But now they're going to walk off. What would happen if they didn't deliver anything? Imagine how commerce would stand still. Think about this. There's so many things in your life that you get, from your medicine to banking supplies to supplies at work to packages to things that you order that get shipped by UPS. You just have no idea. You really don't. And that always floors me when things like this happen, because we always are the last to know. And of course, the company, you know, this article's great that I attached, because it talks about some of these executives make tens of millions of dollars a year, and they don't care about the employees. They don't want to talk to us. They don't want to negotiate. They don't want to worry about our future or our well-being, but because they make tens of millions of dollars a year. I am telling you, the reversal of that fat cat mentality, that's changing right now. People are fed up with that. And, you know, they're fed up with the lies, being told that everything's great. Another banking problem is that we're being told that because of all the bank bailouts, that the banks have no reserve money left over, but they're fine, you know, they're okay financially. And again, this goes to your own personal finances. If you went and spent everything on a vacation or new car, everything else, and then you go and you know, realize, hey, I have no money left over. Yeah, because I spent it all. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. You guys are amazing. It's absolutely stunning.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, here's a couple more stories that should infuriate you. That's why I'm telling you these. Edward Yardeni of Yardeni Research, he steps forward and says, listen, the economy is doing great. We're nowhere near a recession. Now, this is the same guy who a year ago said a recession is inevitable. But what he's saying now is we're not going to have a recession because of the hidden savings that people have. That there's almost $750 billion in hidden money that people have saved, and they're still working through their pandemic savings. Well, okay, guys, gals, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your dog, ask them where that money's at and why they're borrowing so much against their credit cards right now, because it makes no sense. It doesn't make an ounce of sense right now that these people are telling us that there's hidden savings and that people are pent up and they're going to spend the summer away. Oh, okay. Okay, fantastic. Let's spend the summer away. People are canceling trips. Yes, some people are traveling and some people are going out, but people have no money. Okay? There's that, guys. Now, we just got new numbers from our government. The Bureau of Economic Statistics has just said that, hey, listen, the first quarter numbers for our GDP, they were not down. They were not nearly as bad as we thought. We said that they were at 1.2%. We got them wrong. They're at 2%. So 0.8%, guys, up. Okay, I believe that. The idea, people, is to not have us be in recession. That's it. It's to not have people be in recession right now. So, okay, we're not in recession. They're gonna, you know, adjust the numbers up. If you believe that, guys, just nothing's real. Nothing's real. Mr. Yardeni is a fool. And I just cannot believe that these people want to tell us that everything's great. And again, if there's $750 billion hidden right now, where is it? Who's got that money right now? So the next thing is, I love this because I have a niece that's getting married next year. And they asked 80% of newlyweds, hey, how was your wedding? How was this? How was that? What do you wish you did differently? 80% of them said, we wish that we wouldn't have had a wedding register. We wish we would have just asked people for cash so we could put it towards a house, because none of them can afford a house. But somebody's got $750 billion hidden. Remember that, $750 billion hidden. Now, the other thing, final story out of Study Finds, which I absolutely love Study Finds, said that taking vitamin D, getting out in the sun, and you know, vitamin D supplements can help with heart disease and heart attacks and fight heart attacks. So take your vitamin D. And my late girlfriend, with her cancer help, took vitamin D all the time, and it helped her tremendously. And I highly recommend that you do it as well. Okay? So please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Christmas in May is coming. Finally. And I'm so happy. And got a lot of cool stuff to give away. Okay? Onward and upward, guys. If you want to reach out to me, hello@iAllegedly.com. I will see you guys very soon.